stepping up to be manager. And I'm terrible at being manager. I don't want to be manager.
No.
No parent is stepping up, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, we finally picked our team on Tuesday. We made our last two cuts, so that was the deadline. So we put it out there who wants to be manager, and a few people said, well, I'd help, but blah, blah, blah. And then, so anyway, tonight, the parents have a meeting a half hour before our practice from the organization. And then afterwards, we're going to have a parent meeting. And hopefully someone steps up because there's a lot of stuff to do. Like someone's already stepped up to be treasurer. Is it a guy that did it last year? But like I said, I've only got 3 returning players, so it's it is kind of a quandary to be in.
Well, Tom, 2 years ago, I remember at U13, the 3 coaches sitting down and talking about their last picks, and one of them giving up one of his picks to the other before the picks because it would be a good manager. She would manage.
Well, it's huge. You know, there's a story about that, and then I won't say this here. The other reason why you pick players on the bubble.
We all know.
Well, we picked coaches with kids that were made the team, and we had to evaluate them before, and they were really close to not making the team. And that poor coach, he was under the gun all year because she wasn't in the top 2 lines. She was on the bottom line and maybe the bottom of the bottom line. But it was the only coach that was available that would coach. So I don't know how it goes, but Emily brought it up with me. She said she came and talked to Craig and I about the fact she didn't want to manage, but she said some of the things were being thrust upon her. So hopefully I don't know, a meeting like that, I wonder if Craig shouldn't be in it.
Oh no, it's he may be there. I don't know. No, Emily's mother said she'd do it if nobody would do it. I
No,
think she may have been my manager when Emily played or something. I can't remember,
no.
but or at some other team. But who knows? Tonight, finally, they make the team. Maybe they didn't. One guy did step forward. I think he knew his daughter wouldn't make the team.
No.
So he stepped forward, and I said, well, I can't, because I knew she wouldn't make the team either. I didn't want to name a manager, because that kind of means the daughter's on the team. He's not going to come and manage a team his daughter's not on.
No.
And it's just one of the things happening when you coach.
Now, do you have managers on your school team, or they've got?
Um, we have a booster club. So the schedule is all done. The buses are, we travel by school bus to our local games, charter bus when we go to Moorhead or go up to Duluth or something. They said better be a bit charter bus from because I don't know if you guys ride in school buses, but they're made for 4th graders. They're not made for adults. And the
Well,
seats
we
are,
have the fancy buses, but when I played junior, we rode in a school bus.
oh my God. And so our booster club, I think, is really quite active. I mean, I've already ordered all my swag gear. That was all done. They do some fundraising with the girls, car washes and stuff like that. So, but I don't know. At high school, there isn't a whole lot of managing to be done, but in youth hockey, there's a ton. And so, I've been in youth the last 3 or 4 years, and I would have a really good manager, one of the moms. I had a guy, we had a boy on the team, and he would go out and schedule our non-conference or whatever you want to, or scrimmage games. And he was really good at that. And then when I decided we were going to take the kids on a road trip for a weekend, he did all the legwork to make that happen. And then the team manager came back in and did all the hotel accommodations. And then one other mom also made all of the restaurant uh, uh, reservations or whatever, found places for us to go eat. So they were really, really valuable in terms of making sure everything went really well. High school, it's not that much of a deal because, as I was telling Tom, we only play 25 games. So
Yeah,
you play 13 away and 12 home, and then there's postseason for the varsity. There's no postseason for the junior varsity. So the last regular season game's the 29th of January. So for the JV, that's the season's over after that game.
that's
And
pretty early.
yeah, yeah, we don't even, and we don't start until, well, October 30th. But we do skate 6 days a week. And
Well,
so,
ours is kind of opposite a little. Like we'll play in a tournament next week. We have one game in the weekend, this one, and then next week we'll play in a tournament. We'll play at least 4 games,
yeah,
and our season doesn't start till start of October. But then about the 13th of October, we take the bus to Kelowna, which is about an 8 hour drive, and we'll
oh,
play 5 or 6 games there.
yeah,
So we play more games in the preseason than we'll play a dozen games going to Christmas after that league games. So
mm,
we got, all of these, and you play two a day of 60-minute stop time, stuff
mm.
like that. So we play so many games in the next month, it's incredible.
Yeah. So in the youth program, our league games were only 14. And so that counted for playoffs. But we played last year 55 games.
And that's what
So,
we played last year.
yeah. And then I wanted 60 this year because I don't like practicing half ice all the time. But then I moved up to the high school and I don't have to practice half ice very often.
Yeah.
So, and we're building another rink, I guess. Might be 2 years from now before it's done. I don't know if I'll still be coaching. I gotta make sure I get
Are
through
you,
this
are you in the
season.
Twin Cities?
Yeah, we're in the western suburbs.
Okay. I got a friend lives in Anoka. I've stayed there a few times.
In where? Anoka?
Yeah.
Yeah, the northern suburb. Yeah. And then we're out in Orono, which is the land of private equity, hedge fund, CEOs of either privately held companies or companies like 3M. So the culture is a little different here than it is in Anoka. And I don't mean that in a negative way. It's just different. And the people are, the parents are nice and kids are nice, and sometimes they wish they weren't so nice on the ice. But anyways, it's a lot of fun.
Well, the way the game is, who plays is so restricted now, like the level I'm coaching,
Yeah.
by you can't really play if you don't. I've got 2 daughters, no way their kid could play this level. Another daughter whose kid played all through the AAA midget and all this stuff.
Hmm.
But it costs a lot of money. I mean,
Oh,
they pay about 5,000 up front. And then, of course, this trip to Kelowna, that's going to be a cash call for so much because we're going to stay in a hotel get a bus and stay in a hotel for 4 days. And that isn't cheap.
no,
So it's kind of the demographic of who plays is a lot of the people that you just talked about are the ones whose kids are still in hockey.
I know it. I would say here, one of the moms told me uh, when her son was playing, and he couldn't play high school because he got a brain tumor, which fortunately it's gone. But she said they were spending between 15 and $20,000 a year for off-season hockey.
Off season. Holy jeez.
In season's cheap. I mean, for my team last year, I think it was like 2,600 bucks. Really covered. And then there's a slush fund. So that, and then of course, when we traveled out of town, there was, that was additional expense. But I would say it probably ended up at about 5,000 bucks for 55 games. And that includes paying coaches and, that kind of stuff. So, but our ice time's pretty cheap down here. I don't know what you guys pay, but it's under 200 bucks an hour down here.
Yeah, ours is too because they have different rates for youth hockey.
Yeah.
So it's not the ice time isn't bad. It's the other stuff. Like last night, there was a fitting for swag,
Hmm.
so all the kids get all the swag.
Yeah.
And I know when I played hockey, we never even thought about stuff like that.
I know.